Hey, welcome to Cow Free Kicks. This is possibly one of the worst sneakers I have ever tried on my feet. It is the Nike Air VaporMax MOC ROAMs. Welcome to the channel. If you've not seen one of my videos before, I always look into 5 different categories when I review a pair of sneakers, and they are looks, comfort, weight, breathability and price. And at the end of the video I will give these Nike Air VaporMax MOC ROAMs an overall rating out of 5 stars, and you can pretty much guess what rating they're going to get from that introduction. But do stick with me, and every category I'll explain exactly why I feel that these are possibly one of the worst pairs of shoes I have ever reviewed. Now if you do like what you see as you're going along, please do not forget to click the little thumbs up like button below on your device, and whilst you're down there, if you've not done so already, please do take time to subscribe to the channel. So let's get this review started by first checking them out on feet. Currently available in 2 different colorways via the Nike app and website. I really do not like the Nike Air VaporMax silhouette in general. For me, the first version that was ever released of the Nike Air VaporMaxes way back when was the best looking and the most comfortable, and since then every version of the silhouette that's been released has just got worse and worse and worse until we get to this point where we get this shoe. Now it does have the very famous Nike Air VaporMax all-in-one full-length Air unit that combines the outsole and the midsole of the shoe. It's very striking and it's very well known, and you can easily tell that this is a pair of Nike Air VaporMax sneakers. What they've done with the upper of the shoe now is remove the lacing system and created like a mock slip-on version of the shoe, which I think looks absolutely terrible on feet and in hand. The more I look at it, the more I dislike it. On top, you've got this mesh curtain. Now it looks very, very crumpled. When you've got them on feet, it almost looks like you've got an unironed sheet on top of your sneakers. I'm not too fussed about ironing my clothes, but when they look like this and when they cost this much money, I would expect them to have a cleaner finish to them. And then underneath that, you've got this kind of moccasin style, very soft inner part of the shoe that comes in 2 parts, the front part of the sneaker, and that combines. You just see there with the heel unit of the shoe, you do have like a false tongue in the sneaker, and it does split. You can just see there the inside of the shoe, the kind of moccasin part of the sneaker, which is very soft and does feel very plush, does split down the middle, so it is easier to insert these slip-on versions of the Nike Air VaporMax. You can see the foot opening for the sneaker is incredibly large. For me though, I just really do not like the way these look on feet. The Nike VaporMax always for me look too long, too boat-like. They don't have any real shape to them. They're very flat. Overall, I don't like the way that this new Nike Air VaporMax midsole looks on feet. I just think the only redeeming feature for me for this shoe is the way that the midsole unit of the sneaker has like a clear part that runs into this opaque part of the shoe. I quite like the transition, but overall that's the only part of the sneaker that I do like. Now I do also have another issue with the shoe, and it comes with the way that the shoe has been labeled. Now on the website and on all information that I've seen for this sneaker, it said that it's fully synthetic on the upper. You can see here from the shoe tab that you get that there's no cowhide signs on the upper, which means that every part of the sneaker really should be fully synthetic from upper, insole, midsole, outsole. But with this shoe, you do get these heel pulls here, and you get a pull on the tongue as well, just here. So you've got these 2 things here to help you slip the sneaker on, because obviously you've got no lace functionality. For me, these feel like they're made out of leather. Now I have asked on the Nike chat, and there's no, like I've said, information available out there to say that these parts of the sneaker are leather, but I think they are. Now I only do leather-free sneaker reviews, and I was thinking, should I even do this review because I feel that this is leather? There are some really, really good synthetic leathers out there, so there is possibly a 1% chance that this is synthetic leather on these parts of the shoe, but I think it's really important to highlight the fact that you can't go by what's on the sneaker label and you can't go by what you're told on the Nike chat. Now, obviously they're saying it's synthetic, but for me, The smell, the feel, the fact you can scratch it and it doesn't mark, how mottled it is, it all points to the fact that this is a leather part of the shoe for me. But I'm gonna release this review because I think it's important to highlight the fact that they only need to say what 80% of the shoe is made up of on this label here. So if you do have concerns about what you're wearing on your feet, please do your research. And obviously you can message me on Instagram if you've got any questions. But I'm gonna keep this review going because they have said it's synthetic, but like I've said, be warned because I do think it's leather. Now I'm gonna move on to the comfort where I'm gonna put this all-in-one Nike Air VaporMax midsole to the test on my back doorstep. Nike have said that this offers superior levels of comfort and is a legendary midsole unit. And it is legendary in the fact that I can tell just by looking at these from a distance that it's a pair of Nike Air VaporMaxes. But I do not feel that they offer superior comfort at all. Now you can see from the step test that you do get a nice amount of bounce and responsive bounce back from the larger air unit that you get towards the heel of the shoe. Now that's because it is a lot squidgier and it is a lot larger than the remaining air units throughout the rest of the midsole for the sneaker, especially towards the middle of the foot and towards your toes. The air units do get smaller, and also I feel that they get a lot harder and they really offer nothing under feet. And I've always found with VaporMax that even though you do get a bit of cushion in the heel, when you're walking in them it feels a lot like a pair of football cleats or football boots that you're just clopping around in them because they're so hard underfoot with the middle and towards the toe that you get no bounce back, so they're completely plank-like and dead under feet. I just find that for the price and for all of the hype that you should be getting much more comfort under feet than you actually do. And now the top of your feet as well, I've got huge issues with the fact that you get these kind of pointed additional parts of padding in this mock roam unit, and it doesn't fit well at all. It almost prods into the back of your Achilles when you're wearing these, and it really doesn't feel comfortable. And the other issue I've got is the fact that it's a slip-on. The foothold for this is incredibly large. Now I'm hardly moving the tongue, but you can see how extended the foothold for this sneaker is. There's nowhere near enough structure in and around this foot entry for the shoe. You can see just how loose it is for these to be possibly considered as a shoe that you could wear for any physical activity. Even just walking in these, my heel was slipping out of the back. Now you're probably going to say go half a size smaller, but fit wise these were an absolute true fit for me lengthwise, and also the toe box was perfect for me as well. And I've got slightly wider than average feet, but perfect length UK size 10 feet. So overall, lengthwise and widthwise within the toe box, they were perfect. If I went half a size down, my feet would be hitting towards the end. Yes, it might offer more stability in terms of the fact I was slipping out, but I shouldn't be slipping out of these shoes anyway. There should be much more to this upper, but you can see it's just too soft and floppy to offer any structure at all. So overall, for me, absolutely terrible when it comes to comfort. Now I want to move on to their weight, where I want to pop them on the scales. One redeeming feature for these Nike Air VaporMax Mock ROAMs is the fact that they come in at a reasonable weight of 358 grams. Anything around the 350 gram mark I would consider a lightweight sneaker. Anything above 400, the 450 mark is heavy and extremely heavy. So coming in at that weight when these are pretty much a lifestyle shoe, and like I said, I wouldn't recommend these for really any physical activity because of the structure failure with the upper, I think it's not too bad a weight. Now, yes, I'd like to see them come in a little bit lighter because Nike have said that they've removed materials from this to create a much more lightweight version of the shoe. But I don't think they're that much more lightweight than other versions really to be singing and dancing about. So 358, while it's good, it's not great. Next, I want to move on to their breathability, where I want to pump this moccasin upper full of smoke to see how breathable it is. Offering absolute zero breathability, these Nike Air VaporMax Mock ROAMs are going to make your feet very hot and sweaty. And sadly, they don't offer anything to counter the fact that they're not breathable. So for example, if you've got a pair of waterproof sneakers, it's quite good that they're not breathable because then the water is going to stay out. But these offer absolutely zero air transfer for your feet, so they're going to get incredibly hot and incredibly sweaty. And in a shower, they're just going to get incredibly heavy and get your feet wet. Now they do have some TPU detailing, runs around all the way around the sneaker onto the toe box, but for me that's not a big enough selling point. these should be breathable. You've got quite a nice open weave curtain that encases this whole moccasin upper, but sadly this heavier set moccasin material is just too dense for any of the smoke and air to escape. So 0 in that category for breathability, very disappointing. And even more disappointing is the inflated price. Just like the amount of air that's in this VaporMax midsole, the price is incredibly inflated at a whopping £200 per pair. I cannot get my head around that price. It's one of the most expensive shoes that I will review on the channel all year because I do not like reviewing expensive sneakers. I just wanted to make a point with these sneakers that for £200, I don't think you're getting absolutely anything except a pair of shoes that is quite nicely weighted. Other than that, in all other departments, I think they're absolutely awful. And for that reason, I'm going to give them a 1 star, and they are definitely going to go to the bottom of the ranks of this year and possibly any year that I've reviewed a pair of sneakers, because for that price, I think they offer you absolutely nothing. And I just would love to have been around the meeting table at Nike when someone came up with this idea and everyone went, yeah, that sounds great. It just makes me think, like, do they ever do a prototype and try it on and give it a go and look at these things that are really important when you're buying a pair of sneakers? Because for me, this is an absolute failure. Now, if you've liked what you've seen today, please do not forget to give the video a thumbs up right before you leave. Also follow me on Instagram, drop any comments below, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.